some reason dashboard does not show I am live. So hang on. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, okay. Okay, we are live. Happy New Year, guys. Inauspicious start here, but with the new year comes a new Final Fantasy II challenge. So this one is going to be a drops only challenge. My plan is this is going to be a combination of the no treasure challenge and the no shopping challenge. So what does that mean? No shopping is pretty obvious. I'm not allowed to shop. I am allowed to use it, don't worry. And for this challenge one, we are going to use an arbitrary Naruto theme, I guess. I couldn't really come up with something better than that. It doesn't really fit anything that I've seen or heard of. So there we go. Yeah, no shopping is pretty obvious. No treasure. During my no treasure challenge, I had pretty much disallowed drops as well. Obviously, that's not going to be the case. This time, what we're going to do is no treasure chest. I'm not allowed to claim any treasure from the treasure chest. And on top of that, I'm not allowed to use any starting equipment that they come up with. So there we go. Let's see how difficult this is going to be. If possible, I'm going to keep this no grinding. But I think, yeah, I was just trying to come up with a route in my head. These days, I just dive right into a challenge run without any prior planning or anything of that sort. Just because it makes it interesting sometimes. Oops. What is Leon going to be? Sasuke, obviously. The bad guy. Well, I haven't seen the end of Naruto, so I have no idea whether Sasuke turns out to be a good guy or not. But I guess, as far as Leon is concerned, he remains a bad guy forever. Even though he decides to fight against so-called evil by endgame. Doesn't really matter. Like I said, the themes are not entirely congruent with this challenge run, so to speak. Let's get right into it. So yeah, what exactly is the expectation? What exactly do we want to focus on as far as the challenge run is concerned is, as the title suggests, we're going to be focusing on monster drops, and that's something that I'm not fully familiar with either. There are still a lot of things about this game that I haven't, I can't really write it off by heart. And monster drops is one of those things. For example, I can pretty accurately tell you that about how many hits a monster gets, any specific monster, because that is very important information to find out how much evade you need to have in order to be able to tackle that monster. So far, we haven't really had to focus on any of the drops. Whenever I did get drops in any of my challenge runs or even a casual run, I just took it as a matter of preference. Didn't really have to rely on drops. However, now as far as possible, I'm gonna try to ensure that we are constantly moving ahead instead of trying to stay at one place and grind any particular drop. Because if we do decide to grind any of the rare drops, we can get some very lucrative equipment pretty early on in the game. So I'm gonna try and not do that unless we absolutely have to. And under the have to category, I expect that shields are going to form one of those. I'm going to try and go as far as possible without shields, but I think at some point in the game, it's just going to be far more effective to grind for shields and the consequent evasion rather than just be stubborn. Rather than be stubborn and grind our way out. But we'll see, we'll see. That's just the expectations, right? First things first, we are not allowed to use any of our starting gear. And the only reason this is even feasible early game, especially early game, is because bear fists do very, very good damage. unlike say Final Fantasy 1, well, especially Final Fantasy 1, I suppose. And I can also claim that about Final Fantasy 5. If you just if you try and go for unarmed damage, it's pretty pathetic, even at higher levels, unless you have a specific ability, that is. But over here, there is no such restriction, and in fact, early game, bear fists do a lot of damage. I would say, without a doubt, bear fists are your best source of damage early game. Oh, oops. Goes the traits and look on the bestiary. Right, bestiary. Bestiary is going to be very, very useful here because, like I said, I don't have exactly. I don't have all the details about which monster has which drops. I mean, in general, I know because of the number of times I've played this game. It's more often than not become apparent who has what drop, especially the valuable ones, equipment, certain items. Speaking of items, yeah, I'm not even allowed to buy potions. That's part of the no shopping restriction. So in fact, initially when I was thinking about a challenge run like this, what exactly am I doing right now? I think we'll just start off by grinding a bit. Seeing as how I cannot use potions, I don't have the cure spell. And why was there a lag? God damn it. Is it going to be one of these days? Stupid lag. While we are grinding, yeah, we cannot use potions. I mean, we can't buy potions, we can't buy cottages, so we're going to be very much restricted in terms of healing. I don't think any of the monsters drop a cure spell, at least definitely not early game. I don't expect too much of a problem early game either. But we're gonna need to... I can't really say we can strategize now, can I? There's not much strategy involved. There we go, already unarmed level increased, awesome. But yeah, we cannot buy any consumable items, so I'm gonna have to rely on drops if at all I need them. Potions, not too important, but we are definitely going to need things like antidotes, eye drops, because even an in trip does not heal them. Nobody drops the cure spell. In general, white magic, we're not going to have access to white magic because most of the white magic is store-bought. So shall we go ahead and try a trip to Finn, seeing as how we got unarmed level 2 already? Let's give this a shot. I don't think I have enough HP to survive the trip and come back, seeing as how I have 0 healing. So what we're going to rely on is good turn order and the enemies escaping. And early game, I think it's a good strategy to just save scum this. The only alternative is stick around and grind until I get a certain HP value. Because of the lack of healing, our only recourse is going to be grind HP. Pretty much no other option. So we're going to need to have enough HP to survive the entire journey, which it's going to take between consecutive in trips. So for this time, we need to head to Finn watch Scott die and then return. And for that entire duration, we need to make sure that I have enough HP to survive that journey back to Katria at least. And currently, I don't think I have enough, but we'll give it a shot anyway. If anyone dies, I'll just run back to Katria and heal up. Oh no, I can't. If anyone dies, I cannot revive them at the end. Oh wait. There is a shrine. Yeah. Revival is free, so it's not as if I'm dependent on Phoenix. I really got scared for a moment. I was like, wait, does anybody drop Phoenix Rounds? Does that mean that nobody's allowed to die in this run? No. That's untenable. So I'm gonna use one one of the few areas in this game which one of the few merciful mechanics of this game is that it allows you to revive for free, provided you are at that location, of course. Ambushes are definitely not gonna help. We are relying on the fact that we get first turns and we kill them before they get any hits in. And because of our low HP values right now, I think any hit. Yeah, I just don't see us having enough HP right now to survive the journey to Finn and back. So I think necessarily we are going to need to grind. Another problem right now we are facing is potentially I could just grind HP by hitting myself, but unfortunately because of low HP values, I think since they've already got level 2 in bare fists, any strike is just going to outright kill them. So we are pretty much relying on the monsters right now. Very much relying on the monsters. One thing I could do is play around with the rolls to promote them to hit a certain character. I think I'm going to do just that. But it's going to be very risky. So early game is just going to be HP grinding right now. Nobody has any HP up except for Lee. Lee is pretty much always gonna have high HP. We need to get everyone's HP up. I'm just wondering whether playing around with rolls is a good idea for now. Let's just keep going back and forth between Finn and Gatra, I suppose, just to pass the time. So for this area, none of the monsters has any drops. The way drops works is that each enemy has a drop table of 8 slots, and money also is considered as a drop. So I think technically we can say that the monsters don't really pay Gil. It's just that money is part of their drop tables. So essentially money is considered treasure as well. And oh god, Sakura's gonna die! Come on guys! Poison is gonna be such a pain in the ass. Please get HP, please get HP. At least she got HP, so I'm gonna save this and... oh my god, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Let's see. Somehow miraculously she can survive the journey. Shit. Oh boy. Okay, there we go. No encounters, so that helped. So right now, none of the monsters has any drops. As soon as we get to a point where monsters start dropping something other than money, we'll take a look at the bestiary. In fact, I should probably start taking a look right away just to make sure that all the monsters that we've already faced are not starved. Yeah, you know, one thing we can do right now with this challenge run is to make it a 100% bestiary. That sounds cool. But there are some incredibly rare encounters that I would rather not stick around to grind, especially if they don't have any valuable drops. So Hornet, no treasure. Okay, so it just says Gil 4 to 34. no treasure. So I guess as far as the bestiary is concerned, they bifurcated it. Goblin can drop between 9 and 75. Normally, you should grind on goblins because they have the highest. They pay the most on average. On average, I mean, if you got a really shitty roll, you get one goblin drops 9 gil. But look at that. On the other end of the spectrum, one single goblin can drop 75 gil. So very lucrative early game, especially in the NES and PlayStation versions, where money early game was very short and. Pretty much everything that you wanted to buy was incredibly expensive compared to how much cash you made per fight. So Hornets, none of these guys have any treasure. Okay, these are the only 2 monsters we have encountered. There is one more monster we can encounter, which is the Leg Eater. Huh, I didn't realize that he was actually a rare encounter in these parts. What the hell? Just encountered monsters and Hornets and Goblins so far? Seriously? Sakura still only has 30 HP. Lee has 70 HP already, so I'm kind of comfortable with putting him in the front row and everybody else in the back row because I think at 70 HP he can tank it. But I really want Sakura. I really want Sakura's HP to go up. One of the most reliable methods of grinding HP without having to hit yourself, which as I explained earlier is not really an option here, is just to have the person whose HP you want to grind in the front row and everybody else in the back row and get into a fight with physical hitting monsters. Essentially, you just want to come up with a strategy of making sure that the person on whom you want more HP takes enough damage to trigger HP up, which is unfortunately at best 50% only. If you lose about half of your HP, half of your maximum HP in one fight, that gives you a 50% chance, and it can't really go higher than that, unfortunately. There we go. Finally, we see the Leg Eater. Wow, took you guys a while. Okay, you know what? Let's YOLO. Let's YOLO. Let's see if we can't get Sakura's HP a little higher. What would be a nice threshold? I think let's aim for about 70 HP like Lee. I think if everyone has 70 HP, I'll feel comfortable making the journey to Finn. I think I saved. Now the risk here is that if we get into a large fight, we get into an encounter with a large. Oh my god! Yeah, 4 goblins. 4 goblins. I would classify this as a large encounter, but considering that we got no equipment right now, yeah, look at how much damage they're doing. If we had at least the basic leather equipment, they would be doing between 2 and 3 damage, but holy crap, they're almost doing 10 damage every time. Okay, goblins are escaping. That actually helped me out a lot. There we go. So look at that. She was left with 10 HP. Okay, fine. It's like it's a third of her HP still remaining, but still the problem is it's very risky. Very risky, especially if one of the monsters gets a critical hit. At only 30 HP, 30 max HP, you're very vulnerable to just die. Another benefit of using this strategy of just having one person in the front row is that the people in the back row are not really contributing to the fight as far as they are doing physical damage only. So what happens is that they'll still get experience for taking their action. And because we are artificially increasing the length of the fight. Oh, there's another bad encounter. Any one of these encounters, Sakura might die. We gotta rely on RNG. Yeah, and enemies escaping is part of RNG. Even the damage from poison is like 4. Just 4 HP is still a significant percentage of her max HP. God damn it. Look at that. Now she's down to single digits. Sakura HP increased, stamina increased, thank god, and everybody got an unarmed level. So unarmed levels right now, pretty much the only thing we can train. As soon as we encounter someone who can drop any weapon, and I think the first monster who can drop a weapon is in the second dungeon. Technically, the third dungeon, Ice Cave, so that's still quite a long way away. We're gonna have to rely on Fizz up until then. So the plan is, as soon as I encounter a monster who actually drops a weapon, it would be wise to just grind for that drop, at least if it's not rare. I think that encounter in the Ice Cave is pretty rare, but regardless, we'll cross that bridge when we actually get there. I just think, as a general rule, it might be a good idea to just sit and grind at least for a reasonable period of time, just to get our hands on that weapon, so that everyone can start training with that weapon. So at some point in the future, if they do get a higher version of that weapon, let's say we're gonna get a battle axe here at some point. If they get a rune axe, then at least they don't have to start from scratch. They don't have to start the training from scratch. Sakura is at 41 HP, nice. So let's get Naruto in the front row to grind some HP. Remember, we are targeting about 70 HP on everyone. So let's get there. For this part of the journey. Another thing we can do theoretically is to grind bosses and save scum bosses to make sure they give us some drop, because bosses can give pretty good drops before we have access to them as random encounters. That's another thing that we can. First of all, what is wrong with that Mage Rage? Is FFZ not working? Also, this is a pleasant surprise. Hello Matt, Happy New Year to you. I thought you were on vacation with the family, what the hell? Just got back, oh I see. That's nice, hope you enjoyed your vacation. How many people were there? You did say you don't enjoy crowd, but I guess it's okay if it's family. Did anything cool, or was just regular parents, sis, and her boyfriend? I see. HP increase, nice. So Naruto's up to 52. Let's put Sakura back up. I really should be using different save slots. I lost my train of thought actually. Yeah. So at any point in time, if we get a new weapon, might not be a bad idea to just grind for a reasonable amount of time to see if we can get access to that weapon, just to start everybody training on that. Seeing as how we can't buy that weapon, we can't buy anything, we can't take it from treasure if we get. Now I'm just wondering about how good or bad of an idea it is to save scum bosses. For example, let's just consider the very first boss itself. The Sergeant, he can drop something pretty valuable, that is the Mithril Axe. Another boss right at the beginning is a turtle, and we can get the incredibly valuable Mithril Shield. But as I mentioned, we are going to hold off on shields unless we get it organically. I mean, can I even use the word organically in this context? I don't think so. Hmm. So let's hold off on the shield. I'm just wondering the merits of saves coming to Sergeant. Hang on. She's up to 47 HP. Okay. Problem is, she's at 24 HP. Oh god. Let's hope she can survive the next encounter. Remember that I can't really heal. I think the encounters at the ambushed. Wow. Oh, she's dead. She is dead. There's no way she's surviving this. There you go. Wait, how is she still alive? Ah man, I was just hoping that maybe she would be able to survive. God damn it. So close yet so far. Okay. So that's gonna be our first trip to the the angel of resurrection. Like I said, it's an incredible mercy, a very surprising mercy shown by this game that resurrection is free. I guess we were pretty much expected to wipe left, right, and center. Like there was no way in hell. Like the game pretty much tells us that you're going to be using this so often that it's very much possible that if they put any price on death, I mean any price on resurrection, you'd go broke pretty quickly. So that itself shows the intent of the developer, I guess. Sadist. And that is backed by the fact that you put one step out of line anywhere on the world map, you're going to get mobbed by incredibly powerful mobs, which you are generally not expected to handle. Now Naruto and Lee are up to Lee. God damn it, Lee. He's just racing ahead in terms of HP, but yeah. We are going to get automatic HP ups every 10 or so battles. So that's definitely going to help. But I think what is more important is to have good stamina. So that every time we get HP up, they'll get more of a HP up. Come on, Sakura! Okay, I think that was an automatic HP up. I'll go and heal up anyway. Sakura is up to 54, okay. We are currently aiming for 70 HP, at least on Sakura. So I think Sakura is definitely going to be lagging behind. So by the time she gets to 70 HP, everyone is going to be racing ahead. That's fine. As soon as we hit 70 HP, we'll try to make the journey to Fen and back. And we also need to make sure that everybody's in the front row. None of this shenanigan is not going to work. This is just for grinding HP, putting Sakura only in the front row just to make sure that she's the one being targeted. Because of the RNG, because of the fact that you have to take damage in order to gain stats, there's quite a flaw in that argument, because if you cannot be targeted in the back row, you have to rely very much on magic enemies, which is a shame. But regardless of the flaw, we have to make do with the mechanic that we have in front of us. And the thing is, you cannot guarantee who the enemy is going to hit unless you use gimmicks like extreme tactics like this. But to be honest, I actually had a lot of fun coming up with weird ways to figure out how to guarantee grinding stats. I mean, how to efficiently grind for stats without resorting to what I consider cheating as hitting yourself. Because in my opinion, the mechanic to target yourself was just to enable what happens during confusion. And sleep. No, not sleep. In this game, you don't wake up when you hit yourself. Sleep is just you wake up from sleep randomly. So every turn there is an 80% chance of waking up from sleep. And in the NES version, it is bugged. It is what it is. I think hitting yourself to wake up from sleep or waking up from confusion was only introduced starting FF3. So in FF1, you had the targeting mechanism of spells inbuilt within the spells themselves. And of course, you had to target physical attacks to the enemy only. There was no other way. But since they are introducing more relatively complicated mechanics like confusion, sleep, I guess having the ability to target yourself was a precursor to allowing yourself to wake up from sleep by hitting yourself. And stuff like that. They had to make some adjustment to the targeting mechanism, I suppose. So compared to Final Fantasy 1, this game pretty much took it to the other extreme. To its detriment, no doubt. So Sakura has a 62, but she's only 23 HP. God damn it. Go in the back row, Sakura. Ah, damn it! I keep forgetting to use a different save slot. Just so that I don't get stuck in one place. This game takes it to the other extreme in that you can target black magic at yourself and you can target white magic at the enemy. Especially in the NES version, targeting some certain white magic at the enemy has hilarious effects because it was just unintended. You could see that it was completely unintended. One of these days I should just do maybe I should make a compilation of Final Fantasy 2 bugs. It would be pretty funny. Actually, that's a good idea. Let me note that down. An actual visual demonstration of the various bugs in Final Fantasy 2. Some of them are really, really hilarious. Okay, I have noted that down. 63. God damn it! This is taking too long to get them up to 70 HP. Come on, you guys! Remember that none of these guys, all of these guys are pretty much naked. Maybe they reduced the accuracy of some of these enemies. Because in the NES version, getting to 100 HP using this tactic is a breeze. Like within 5 minutes, no, not 5 minutes, about 15 minutes of grinding, and I've already got Guy up to 100. I suppose it's because it's Guy. Maria has pathetic vitality, so she naturally takes. She's actually going to take thrice as long as Guy in order to get to the same amount of HP, relatively speaking. Loose calculations because there's a lot of other dependencies. Hopefully Naruto will get the requisite HP up this fight, so we don't have to worry about him. Come on, Naruto HP up, awesome, there we go. So he's done for now. This is Sakura. Sakura only needs one more HP up in order for us to attempt our first foray to Finn and back. And I keep saying Finn and back because, like I said, we don't have access to any healing, even in the city of... Holy crap! Okay, if some of those run away, that's good, but For someone in the front row alone, an encounter like this is almost impossible to deal with, especially for someone as squishy as Sakura. God damn it, Sakura, you keep doing this, even in the actual anime. She's a liability. Now that I think about it, I named them properly. Lee is rock steady and reliable in everything he does. He says that he does not have access to ninjutsu, but I guess whenever we get access to spellbooks, I'm gonna make him a mage, the premier mage. Don't worry, Lee. There we go. Sakura got her HP up as well. So she's at 71 right now. Awesome. Let's put everyone in the front row. We are ready. We are in go mode for Finn. Let's attempt Finn now. Now this was just a loose estimate. It's entirely possible based on the RNG of enemy targeting that someone might die, but I can live with that. I can live with that. If I can make the journey to Finn and back with only one casualty, I will take that. So far, all we've got is money, which we don't really care about. Actually, we kind of care about money early game because to pay for in trips, that's all. And even that's not too much, considering that we are not grinding HP to absurd levels. And in order to make sure that we take minimum damage during our journey to Finn and back, I put everyone in the front row, so effectively we are killing 3 enemies per turn. Ambushes are still going to hurt, but like I said, we are just focusing on minimizing damage here. We don't have any equipment yet. And the first person who can drop any equipment whatsoever is still quite a way away. But early game, we can pretty much dominate with just bare hands. It's not a big deal. So I guess in terms of drops, the enemy placement, the scaling of the enemies is pretty well designed. We don't really care about any equipment drops early games, this early in the game at least. And now that we are making our way into Finn, Captains are a potential grind enemy. Of course, I would need to grind to obscene levels in order to be able to beat them. But we can get the flame bow. Yeah, we can get the flame bow from these guys. We can also get the curse book. We can get the toad. No, toad is not allowed. I do not allow instant death spells in my challenge runs. So this is potentially lucrative, but I think it would be game breaking, especially this early in the game. But that is an option that we can keep in mind. So if at some point when do they stay available? They stay available until the liberation of Finn. So that is well after halfway into the game. So we get Layla, the princess. We rescue the princess. We find out that the princess was actually an imposter, and then we rescue the princess again from Palamecia, and then we just come back then later. Yeah, I mean by that time we'll have by that time we'll have plenty of drops. I'm just talking about right now. By that time, we'll have encountered plenty of enemies with plenty of better drops. So that's not much of a concern. And at that point in time, we'll also have enough power to actually thrash them, or we should anyway. So all of these chests contain potions. Obviously, I cannot access them. So let's just kill Scott. And something is wrong with chat, man. It's not showing me emotes. It's not showing that VIP badge. What the hell? For a moment, I thought he was someone else. Is chat misbehaving for you as well? Can you try a mage rage again? I hope there's nothing wrong with FFZ. Which must go through fine. Mage Rage is not happening. That could be a problem with FFZ. In one of your lines, I'm not seeing your badge. Kind of worrying, but hopefully it's not our problem. Okay, so far so good. Have I my Twitch chat to the so I'm gonna assume that it's something on their side. Chat is bugged. So those are some options to keep in mind if we want equipment, if we want spells. Speaking of spells, we could enter the area slightly north of Finn, and that is very lucrative because we can also encounter land turtles which drop. Guess what? They drop one of the most important items in this game, a shield. But as I said, shield is going to be last resort if I absolutely can't manage the difficulty. But in general, the area north of Finn is a very good grind spot because we can run into ogre mages. Ogre mages will drop the blink spell, they can drop the blind spell, and I might consider using the blind spell. In fact, now that I think about it, generally speaking, in this game, more enemies drop spell books, or at least the ones that are most frequent. The most frequent drops are spell books and not equipment. So it's very much possible that we are going to go through the game with 3 mages. And we can get some ridiculously powerful spells as well. But all that will be revealed later. We are going to constantly take a look at the bestiary. Speaking of the bestiary, anybody new? Leg Eater. I don't think anyone knew apart from that. I wish it had a new monster section, but at least it does show the stars. Don't think we've encountered anybody except for these 3 monsters. Like I said, I'm gonna try for a 100%. Actually, I cannot 100% the bestiary because this also includes Soul of Rebirth enemies. But at least I'm going to try and 100% the first 128 monsters. 128 includes the final boss. Final boss is in the bestiary. That would be nice, right? If the final boss had a drop. Actually, that would be so nice. No, technically, final boss, the boss battle and the Soul of Rebirth boss battle happens at the same time. So it would be illogical to assume that a drop from the final boss should be available in Soul of Rebirth. Okay, so it turns out that 70 HP was more than sufficient, actually much more than sufficient. So I was playing very defensive. Let's proceed on to the next area where we can finally encounter some new monsters. And these new monsters will have some item drops. And I think for early game, those item drops will be incredibly useful. In fact, yeah. Seeing as how I don't have access to consumables like eye drops, or potions, or screw potions. In order to compensate for a lack of potions, we can pretty much just grind some HP and not heal. Remember that we don't even have the blood sword. So that's going to be out of question. Most of the cheeses that we normally try out are going to be off the table. Of course, we're going to have access to instant death spells, but there are plenty of monsters that drop some very powerful spells. But we're going to stay away from that. I'm going to try out some of the spells actually. Spells like Aura, Let's show Hilda the ring. Let's proceed onwards with the story. I should sell this crap just so to avoid temptation. Hang on. Let me go and sell that before we start talking to her. I suppose one very good advantage of this challenge is I'm not going to have a cluttered inventory. I mean, sure, it's going to be full of drops, but drops are pretty few and far in between. Especially if they drop something, if they drop a spell book, I'm immediately just going to assign it to someone. Can I follow key items eventually? This is not the NES version, please. And key items are grayed out like this, so I don't really care about that. But yeah, holy crap. Goddamn NES version. It only gave us one page of non-stackable inventory. And a third of that was taken up by key items. I don't know, I always felt like that was part of the challenge of FF2, the broad challenge of FF2. Unfortunately, as usual with anything with FF2, the solution is pretty simple, but coming up with the solution is interesting. You need to have Esuna, you need to have life to compensate for a lack of Phoenix Downs, you need to have Esuna at high levels to compensate for a lack of healing items, and so on and so forth. Speaking of Esuna, nobody drops Esuna, so that is not an option for us. Nobody drops Esuna. At least, I think there is one endgame boss that drops the Esuna spell, but getting to endgame is the key, isn't it? So technically, there is someone that drops Esuna, but it's so far away that it's just not worth it at all. So we don't have access to Esuna, which means we need to hoard as much as possible of whatever antidotes, eye drops we get. Does anybody drop golden needles? That's going to be a problem. Nobody drops items like Maiden's Kiss. No, we can get Maiden's Kiss. Maiden's Kiss is fine. I wish that was fine IRL as well. We can get Maiden's Kiss. We can't. Nobody drops golden needles. Nobody drops. What is the other thing? The thing that cures curse? I forgot. Nobody drops the thing that cures amnesia, which is, I think, in this version, it's the luck mallet. Like, what the hell are we supposed to do with the luck mallet? You're supposed to hit someone on the head and somehow they are cured of amnesia? Then wouldn't that make sense that you just hit someone in battle and that cures them of amnesia as well? Like confusion and sleep in the later Final Fantasies? I don't know where exactly they were going with it, but it's pretty funny. Let's get Minwu, who we cannot use. Oh crap! This is going to be an overthunk stream. As usual. This is going to be an overthunk challenge run. Why is everyone in the back row? Okay, here is something that I failed to take into account. Minwu comes with a shit ton of spells. But considering that this is drops only, I'm going to have to delete all of them. Oh my god, with my hand to my heart, I do this. And I need to make sure that I delete every one of them, because otherwise, at some point in time, I am going to unconsciously or subconsciously end up using it. Yep. To avoid temptation, I need to make sure that it's purged. So yeah, as I am showing right now, the spells that characters come pre-equipped with, is also off the table. Now, to be fair, it's only Minwu and Layla that come with their own spells. Gordon is a waste, which is exactly what we want for this challenge run. I need to sell that as well. Everybody is in the front row. At least Minwoo's HP is going to be his HP is going to make sure that we won't die for quite a while. So as far as save slot is concerned, I'm going to use save slot number 1 whenever I am near an inn. And I'm going to use save slot 2 otherwise, I suppose. Not sure why I would use save slot 3. No, save slot 2 would be for outside dungeons and save slot 3 would be for inside dungeons. I think we'll follow that policy. Let's make sure that I sell everything off. Stuff. I mean, technically speaking, I'm not allowed to use these key items as well, right? Because there are not drops. GG. Okay, let's do this. Let's proceed to the next area. Speaking of, yeah, I was just talking about healing items. In the upcoming area, we're going to get an enemy who can drop some healing items like antidotes and eye drops. So we need to make sure that we hoard them as much as possible. Do I want to go in here? No, what's the use? Actually, I should have saved. No, these are not the enemies. So I'm just gonna have Sakura in the front row to promote HP ups as far as possible. I would like them to have even HPs across the board. And why are these guys missing? Also, this is really helping our bear fist levels. I think we're up to level 4 or 5 already. Right? Sakura is level 5. Oh my god, level 5 is going to be more than enough for the first two bosses. So I'm hoping for an encounter with a vampire thorn. What? We can encounter Sasquatch in this area. I did not know that. Self-proclaimed FF2 expert here, guys. Sasquatch in this area. Could have sworn it's not possible. But okay, never mind. So this yet another. This is a new enemy. Unfortunately, just like the ones we have seen so far, they don't have anything except money drops, and we don't really care about cash. Insofar as it funds our very meager lifestyle of staying at an inn every now and then. This is a life, man. Just depend on the environment. Just killing monsters to live. Can we get a HP up? Sakura got HP up. Awesome. And Minwoo is getting unarmed levels as well. That's all a side effect. Okay, soldier. There's another new enemy. Soldiers can drop... Have I seriously forgotten? I believe they can drop pretty much all 3 of those things. Potions, eye drops, and... Not and, or obviously. At any point in time, an enemy can only drop 1. Let's check out the soldier. Sasquatch, yeah, can't drop anything. And soldier. There we go. Okay. They cannot drop an eye drop. But see, they can drop a potion, an antidote, or garlic. We don't care about garlic. But whenever we do get an antidote, I'm going to make sure that we keep that in hand. Because now that I'm thinking about it, very few enemies actually drop healing items. And no, but although another new enemy, Goblin Guard. Goblin Guards also don't have any material drops. They just give a lot of money. I suppose that is their purpose. lots of money, and Sakura might die here. Just great. The new thing about the Goblin Guard is they have a special bow attack, which can also hit the back row, but it is not considered a physical attack. It is a magical attack. Anything that hits the back row is a magical attack. Yeah. Demonstration there. But even though they have bows, please don't kill her! Even though they have bows, they don't really drop the bows. They don't really drop them. Is it Diablo, where you can just take stuff off of a dead body? I seem to remember. Excuse me. I seem to remember a game where after you kill someone, you can just loot his corpse, or maybe that's pretty much any modern RPG. For example, I don't know if Breath of the Wild is considered an RPG, but whenever you defeat someone in Breath of the Wild, they disintegrate into something, don't they? Or maybe that's considered a drop. So some goblin thingy. After it dies, it leaves a club behind, or something of that sort. Item drops on the floor in Diablo. Item drops on the floor. Okay. There's again scan. Bodies are containers. What? Bodies are containers. So it's not like every RPG, is it? It's just the Bethesda games. But yeah, I think it was Diablo where you can get drops from some of the enemies. I suppose it's a thing in pretty much every RPG. 100 HP, we are pretty good. I think I'm quite confident of taking on the first dungeon. What all do we have? No, we still don't have anything in the inventory. Fortunately, this early in the game, none of the enemies inflict permanent poison. Remember that there is a temporary poison and there is a permanent poison. Oh, speaking of permanent poison, god damn it! That thing in the back row, the queen bee, that is the first enemy here who can actually inflict the permanent version of poison, and hopefully, yeah, I'm gonna prioritize her. As soon as she becomes available to target, we need to prioritize her to make sure that we are not poisoned. Yeah, so this, the hornets, even though it says poison, they can only inflict the temporary version of poison, which does not last after battle. You can imagine how difficult it would be if I don't have antidotes and I'm infected with poison. Going to take damage every freaking tile, and even though it's only one damage, it's gonna add up. I think even worse. No! She actually got a hit. If Naruto was poisoned, I'm going to have to reset. Because inn does not cure poison. Cottage, well, not that I have any. Nothing cures poison except antidote. Or death, I suppose. So, yeah, never mind. There is there is one cure to death. I mean, there is one cure to poison, and we'll have to resort to that if he is permanently poisoned. God damn. I hate myself. Naruto, you might have to be euthanized. God damn it, he was poisoned. Why? The very first encounter. You need to die, Naruto. Alright, let's take care of that. With a heavy heart, we do this. Is letting me die of poison be good for HP gain? Nope. Because the amount of HP you need to lose per battle is it's like half of your max HP, and poison In battle, poison only hurts like 4, between 2 and 4 per turn. So it's very, very insignificant. My main concern is the fact that every walking tile on the world map or inside dungeon, if we are, is going to drain him of 1 HP, and I don't have any healing. So in this game, poison damage is not based on your percentage or based on a percentage of max HP. It's just like about 2 or 4 damage per turn, constant 2 or 4 damage per turn. That is insignificant. There's absolutely no benefit, and don't tell me there is no shrine in this place. You're kidding me! Oh shit! I think I killed him off at the wrong place. Come on, don't tell me there's no shrine. There is no shrine. Oopsie! We're gonna have to make our way all the way back to Balloon. Fortunately, we are in the city of Poft, so we can just ask it to take us there. Why not? And since I don't really care about money, I guess I found one outlet for all of my cash. Let's go to... Seriously, we cannot go to Balloon? You gotta be kidding me. Well, while we are here, I might as well visit Bask. Bask does have a shrine. Get to ride on the airship. Whee! Seriously, an encounter right outside! I'm trying to make sure that everybody stays alive as long as possible, because then that is going to be a discontinuity. Once they begin, I know, right? Damn it! As I didn't get another 1-7 encounter here. That would have just been trollish. Where the hell is shrine? There we go. Naruto, come back to us! Okay, so that's going to be our answer to poison. And what's going to happen inside the dungeon? Well, it's just going to be a reset. We're going to have to restart the dungeon. So, wow. This might pose a bit of a problem. Poison. Is there any encounter inside the first dungeon who can poison us? I don't think so. There are those bastards in the world map, the queen bees. And I still haven't gotten any healing item at all. Even worse than... Actually, it's not worse than poison. I was gonna say darkness is even worse than poison. But it's not. I think we can still deal with darkness. It's just going to halve your accuracy, but as long as they get enough hits, as long as they do enough damage to kill the enemy, which we should be able to do with bare fists, I'm not too concerned about darkness. Sprinter! This enemy is like the worst of the worst, has pathetic guild drops and has no material drops. Why is he there? I think it's just to grind some HP. That sprinter enemy is good for grinding HP because he hits pretty hard. If he could hit... There, 18 damage, seriously. This guy can do up to 30 or 40 damage, I believe. So I guess a soldier encounter is still better then. Well, for now, let's make our way to Salamand. We still haven't seen that one encounter which I was talking about, who can also drop an eye drop. That is called a Vampire Thorn. Because they are so rare, and the eye drop or antidote drop is actually pretty rare, I don't think it's reasonable to grind for antidotes and eye drops. But we are going to need some eye drops. Because as soon as we encounter enemies within dungeons who can poison us, that's going to be absolute hell. Now one way to combat something like that, which is something that I don't want to rely on, but the more I talk about it, the more I feel like shields are going to play, well, not just important, they are important, no doubt about that, but a necessary part in this challenge run. So I might need to necessarily grind for some shields. And it's not even too bad of a grind because shields are readily available just north of Finn if we get into an encounter with land turtles. We can even get into an encounter with 4 land turtles there, which is pretty rare, but it's still possible. And that'll give us a pretty high chance. Oh, there we go, vampire thorns. Thank you. Please give me some antidotes and eye drops. Please, please, please. Pretty please. Because I know the second dungeon has monsters that can poison, that can inflict permanent poison. Using shields and having high evasion, that is another way that we can evade their physical attacks altogether. There we go, we got our first drop. Woohoo! Damn it, I should have some fanfare set up for this. Antidote. Let's keep in mind that I should not sell that antidote. If possible, I'm going to make this 100% treasure. 100. No, I can't make it 100% treasure. I'm only going to pick up the treasure chests which have money, and even that I don't need to actually. He's still stuck on 110 HP. Let's check out Salamand. Do we need to do anything in Salamand? Not really. We'll just quick heal up, save on slot 1, and then proceed towards the dungeon. I think we should have enough HP to survive the upcoming ordeal. And just keep our fingers crossed that both the bosses drop something of value. Yeah, something of value. I don't want any armor, because right now, armor is not really going to help us. Considering I need to grind HP. I'm going to put everyone in the front row because we are no longer grinding HP. We just want to make sure that we rush through each and every encounter. Just rip through the encounters. And at some point in time, I'm also going to start running away. But for that, we need shields in order to have good evasion percent. The reason I keep harping on about shields is it's pretty much, I'd like to say it is the most efficient way of getting evasion. But the fact of the matter is, it is the only way, because the only other way is to grind agility, and that is hell, absolute hell. Like any other grind, even grinding to quad 9 HP for everyone is not as bad as grinding agility. It's just that bad. Because you can do everything right and still you are at the mercy of the RNG. And what RNG that is? 10% at best. That's just ridiculous. Okay, let's check out what awaits us in the first dungeon. Big mob, that is. 100 HP on anyone. I'm quite sure that the boss is going to one-shot someone. But I'm also quite sure that we will be able to one round the boss. Both the bosses. Another thing of consideration here is I do not have access to teleport. So I'm going to have to walk out. That's another thing to keep in mind. So what I'm gunning for here is, well, let's reach the boss. At the very least, we need to make sure that we reach the boss unscathed, without any casualties. After that, we need to make sure that I don't think we can really avoid any casualties during the boss fight since we have only 100 HP. I would say you need at least 150 HP to be safe from being one shot, considering that we are not wearing any armor at all. But we'll see when we get there actually. My only problem here is that we might need to forego all of this progress. I say all of this progress, but since I'm not collecting any of the treasure, we're going to reach the boss pretty soon. There we go. Feels good to be able to run around these relatively large mobs. I mean, a mob of 4 is actually rather small, but if you don't ambush me, please. Mob of 4 is relatively small inside the dungeon. Outside, I would say 4 is like pretty big. But we can get the full Monty here. 8 goblin guards, green goblins, we should say. Also, we need to rely on the RNG to spread out the damage on my party members here, which is not happening right now since nobody is really targeting this guy, Lee. But like I said, we are kind of underprepared. We'll see how this goes. Almost lost my way there. Taking too many steps. I hate that Sakura has more HP now. Oh, never mind. Naruto has more HP now. Can you please not ambush me? And yeah, go ahead and hit Minwoo. None of the enemies here has any significant drops except for the soldier who can drop an antidote, which are I mean, looking at how rare those damn antidote drops are, man, I'm really like starting to appreciate just how rare it is. We've only got one freaking antidote. Eye drops, I would say eye drops is a second class citizen because we can still be relatively effective with eye drops, but not without antidotes. If I get poisoned in the middle of the dungeon, it's all over. Quinta, Goblin Guard, Soldier, Leg Eater, Vampire Thorn. Is that it? I think that's it. Okay. Pretty much encounter consume the bestiary entries. At least there are no stupidly clever descriptions about each monsters. So we are spared the face palm, unlike another game that we know. Alright, almost there. Let's see if we can pull this off. I don't think so, but we shall see. Now the sergeant has about 450 HP. I think he has about 450 HP. He has some pretty good drops. All we can do right now is just bow 3. Actually, that's a favorable outcome. 30 damage. Should be able to one round this guy. There we go. Alright, this could not have gone any better. Oh my god! Oops. Unbelievable! I got the best drop! Wow, I think This bodes well for this challenge run, and I'll take a quick break here. Hang on. Unbelievably, I got this first try, so I'm not going to complain about this. Uh, Normally, I always hope that the challenge run goes as bad as possible. I get as bad or orange as possible, just to show that we're gonna be safe no matter what. But for this challenge run, I'm gonna take it. Shit, need to make sure I save and assign that mithril axe to someone so that they can start training with it. The mithril axe is definitely for us the best drop that we can get. The other drops that the sergeant has are some mithril armor pieces, I believe. Let's check it out. Look at that, mithril helm, axe, armor, and bow. Okay, mithril bow. Mithril bow is okay. It's not that good, but the mithril axe is very, very good damage. Of course, as we've seen in the Quad Circle challenge run, axes are very inaccurate. But regardless, what matters right now is not the amount of damage that we are doing, but the fact that we need to start training in axes for everyone, and just to see how good damage from unarmed is. Look at that. Currently at level 5 bare fist, we have an attack of 48, and the mithril axe, which is like 2 levels higher than an axe that we can buy right now. The best axe. No, it's not 2 levels. It's 1 level higher than the best axe that we can buy right now. It's like half, 2/3 of that. That's how good bare fists are early game. But it's only early game. It pretty much tapers off later on. But yeah, let's see if we can survive this and go out alive. We also need to deal with the land turtle boss fight, and we need to make our way out. But I think might be able to make it out without too much hassle, especially since Minwoo is undamaged so far. HP increase. Unfortunately, all of these HP increases do not increase our current HP, so it's not helping a lot, but it's still better than nothing. All of these are like interest payments for later. Already look at that. Lee has 179 HP, Naruto has 157. These are good HP values for the next dungeon. But we need to make sure that we are able to survive the current dungeon at our current HP values. Okay, so second boss fight here. Once again, we have a small chance of getting an incredibly valuable drop. Alright, I can't really use the teleport tome, but there's no restriction against opening treasure chests, so I'm still well within my rights. Let's just hope that we get our hits in before he does anything. There we go, he's dead. Yeah, nice. So we did not take any damage. These could not have gone better. These could not have gone... could have gone better, but I'm not going to complain. We did not get any drop from the land turtle. But if we check... Well, let me save. But if we check the bestiary, land turtle. Wait, what? Okay, so the only thing you can drop is a mithril shield. Everything else is just gil. Nice. I thought. Actually, no. No, it's some other enemy which drops other mithril stuff. The land turtle only drops a mithril shield. That's the only thing. But it's a 1 in 8 chance, so it's pretty rare. Let's focus on getting out of this dungeon now. Remember, we cannot use the teleport book since that was obtained through treasure and not through a drop. And now this is a horrible encounter. But I have faith that we can make it out. Unfortunately, Lee is going to suffer for the time being, since he doesn't have any experience with axes. He's not going to do any damage. Lee's axe level increased, nice. We'll wait till his axe level is at least 3. Oh my god. Going through a dungeon in reverse is like... Oh shit! No. I completely forgot about these guys. Not slimes, please. I have no answer to them. Can we escape? Please tell me we can escape. Thank god. I completely forgot that we could encounter slimes here. They don't drop anything useful, and they're just a drain on my resources right now. Extremely valuable resources of HP. I'm trying to make it out of this dungeon with everyone still alive. Now technically I could go ahead and try and run away from all these fights since all of them are escapable. But the problem is, I think it would just be faster for most of these encounters to just punch them to death since we are one-shotting them. These level 2 in axes, right? Let's get somebody else. Let's give that axe to someone else so that they can get level 2. Where is this it? That must be 3. Okay, yeah. Going to the dungeon in reverse is so much different. At least this is a relatively straightforward dungeon. I think by the time we actually get to the complicated dungeons, I need to make sure that I've got the warp spell. Nobody drops the teleport spell. But fortunately, we can get our hands on the warp spell. That is a effective substitute for teleport. Oh, Lee's in critical now. Come on guys, we're almost there. Anybody dies, I don't have any resurrection. I don't think anybody drops the Phoenix down. Well, technically, the purported final boss drops the Phoenix down, but yeah, it's just technically. Sakura's axe level increases as well. Nice. But to be honest, this has already gone far better than I anticipated. And I hear Torio's words. That is literally every one of my challenge runs. I say the same thing. This has gone far better than I expected. Except for the quad circle one, I must admit. But that was just me being stubborn, that's all. Alright, so far so good. We're not even giving them an opportunity to actually get a hit in, get their turn. So yeah, early game, bare face, do the job, and we don't have any nasty statuses to deal with to heal. So far it's not a problem at all. But we need to keep in the back of our mind there are two things that are going to cause us problems: the lack of sufficient HP. I mean, we can see right now we're just going to barely make it through here. Naruto's axe level also increased. Awesome. So we'll give the axe back to Lee because he is the best axe user. So I'm just barely managing to make it back, and that is make it out of this dungeon. We also need to make it to the town, but at least I'm out. Can I make it to the town? Should be able to. The encounters outside the dungeon are far more lenient than ones inside. I don't think we can get into, or can we? Can we get into an encounter with 8 goblin guards? I don't think so, but the chances of surviving outside of the dungeon are far higher. So I'm not too worried that we'll make it back to town. But this just shows that we need to have enough HP to be able to survive the entirety of the dungeon, twice even, if I don't have access to teleport, which I don't right now. That's going to be the case for the second dungeon, which is already true because we can't use teleport in the second dungeon anyway. At what point can we get access to warp? Nice! We got more drops! Eye drops and antidote. Thank you. This is so valuable. So we got 2 antidotes and 1 eye drop. Keep this in mind. I absolutely need to keep this in mind. What this means is I only have 2 chances to be poisoned before the next one I have to reset, and I only have 1 chance to be blinded. Like I said, blindness I don't think is going to make too much of a difference, but we'll see. Antidotes are absolute gift from God. I can't believe how rare these drops are, man. It's ridiculous. While I was thinking about this challenge run, Oh, 1 more antidote. Nice. I guess all I needed to do was complain. Complain and thou shalt receive. That's pretty much the motto of everybody in the world these days. What I was thinking of while I was thinking of this challenge run was this would be more like a randomizer, since what drops we get are completely randomized. But now I'm re-evaluating that position. But there are just some things that we absolutely need in order to survive. Unless I'm willing to grind like the Quad Circle Challenge Run, which I'm not. No. As I said at the beginning, the aim is to demonstrate what drops you can get, and to also to find out whether we can survive based on drops alone, even if we do need to grind for some of those drops, provided they're not rare. Definitely not going to go ahead and grind rare drops. Also, I'm making another ultimatum right now: is saves coming bosses is not allowed. Yeah, I've been thinking about that for all this while, and I just don't think it's valid. I don't think there's any excuse for saves coming bosses. Like, I was supremely lucky here to get the Mithril Axe. At least it's only a early game boss, right? So it's still fine, and no big deal. But later on in the game, bosses can drop some very nice things. Ribbon comes to mind, so if I get lucky with that, I'll take it. But no saves coming for the ribbon. But the ribbon is classified as a rare drop anyway, so regardless. But I do believe at certain stages in the game, we're going to need to stop and search out certain encounters to get certain drops. And I feel like Shield is definitely going to be one of them. I just feel that way. It might turn out not to be true, but we'll see. So right now, HP values are looking good. I think we can attempt the second dungeon as well. So let's make rapid progress. Minwoo is gonna leave us after the upcoming mini dungeon. So the next thing I'm thinking about right now is whether to plan for Soul of Rebirth. And what exactly should the plan be for Soul of Rebirth? Nah, screw that. I think what I'll do is start an alternate playthrough and prepare all of my characters for Soul of Rebirth. Because the next thing I want to do with Soul of Rebirth is try out a speedrun. Most of the encounters in Soul of Rebirth seem to be unrunnable. That's very interesting. But I think what I'll do is not transition from this playthrough to Soul of Rebirth. I feel like for a Soul of Rebirth speedrun, I will need to, holy crap, dropping frames. Okay, looks like it's back in green. Wow, it just went all the way down to 0 for a couple seconds. Whatever. So yeah, speaking of Soul of Rebirth, I think in order to try out a Soul of Rebirth speedrun, I would need to make preparations during the base game. So maybe I'll try that as something completely separate. I don't really see how I can transition from this challenge run to a Soul of Rebirth speedrun. Because Minwoo is going to be naked. Because of how rare some of these drops are, I think the fourth party member is going to lose out. Fourth party member is definitely going to lose out in terms of equipment. Just to make sure that my primary 3 characters are well supplied. I mean, that's just like a casual run after all. Okay, so the Mithril quest has been completed. We need to get a couple of keywords from Hilda and proceed towards Bosk. Now, Bosk is where we find the highest concentration of vampire thorns, and if you remember, what? Okay, vampire thorns are the ones. Does she not give us the airship keyword? Hello? No? Could have sworn she gives us the. What the hell? Dude, I need to speedrun this game. I need to speedrun this game again. We've got we need to make 3 antidotes and 1 eye drop. I think I should continue to not open perfect to Shut up. Regardless, I am pro FF2 gamer, self-proclaimed or not. But yeah, I need to speedrun this game again because I thought she gave us the airship keyword right there. But I think she actually gives us the airship keyword a little earlier, and I missed that opportunity. Regardless, I think we are going to get the airship keyword when we meet Sid, so no harm, no foul. I just wanted to follow the speedrun route to the point. Right, I think I don't need to be worried about how many consumables are there in my inventory because I'm not going to be opening any treasure chests anyway. Should I take the ferry? Let's go ahead. Let's not waste time. Let's see. Let's keep proceeding. Let's keep progressing. We are not really looking to grind any more HP right now. Not that we can. So all of my party members have so much HP right now that these weak ass monsters are just not good enough anymore. So yeah, the sewer dungeon under Bosk, that is where we get the highest concentration of vampire thorns. Vampire thorns are the ones who drop antidotes and eye drops. So let's hope I make a small windfall down there. Very lucrative place, and at any point in time, if I need to grind for some consumables, I keep saying consumables, although it's only eye drops and antidotes. Remember, like, I'm really worried about the fact that we can't get hold of golden needles, we can't get hold of cross. So I suppose that's just going to be a straight up reset. Reset, or we need to kill the guy afflicted with curse. We can't kill anyone with. We can't kill a stoner. Stoners are invincible. So that's out of the picture. I really wish there was a way to cure stone without having a golden needle, man. Wow, this has never struck me before. And I suppose just for getting me to that realization, this challenge run is already a success. Like, I never thought that if you did not have a golden needle, there's just no way to cure that. Holy crap. And even the fact that you can kill a party member and cure status ailments like pretty much any other permanent status condition, that was only added in the remix. In the NES version, even if you kill them and then you revive them later on, they'll still be they'll still be inflicted with a status, which is hilarious. That's just I've seen so many people rage at that. Wait, he's dead and now he's come back to life and he's still poisoned? What sense does that make? I need a compilation of that, man. Epic. The number of times I've just doubled over laughing. Huge group of goblins here, not letting me go. Why the hell am I dropping so many frames? Stupid internet. never gonna give me a good day. Apart from the vampire thorns, I don't think there are any enemies in the boss sewer dungeon that are of value. But it's a relatively short dungeon. But yeah, what I was saying is that at any point in time, if I need to grind for some. Oh wait, who got an axe level? Nice. He's up to level 4 axe. Nice. Let's get the others to level 4 axe as well. 175, she's still lagging behind in terms of HP. Why, Sakura? Why you have to be like this? You're dragging down the team. How typical. Already got 5,000 bucks, got nothing to do with it. Is there an RPG with a credit system? Playing the finances would be so cool. Do I have anything in the inventory I need to sell? Nope. Okay, let's go ahead and make some drops. So desperately hoping we get plenty of antidotes and eye drops, because after this, there aren't many sources. Oh crap. I forgot to bring everybody back to the front row, but actually this is preferable. Since this is a relatively short dungeon, it's a very harmless dungeon. It's just more of the monsters from the surrounding regions in the world map, except in much larger formations. So it's relatively harmless. So I'm gonna keep the status quo like this, and hope that Sakura gets some HP up. But nobody's actually able to land a hit on her. What the hell is wrong with these things? No, I don't think this is working. 8 damage. She's got 180 HP. 8 damage is not going to cut it. So let's just